day of our IELTS marathon, which will last for 2 weeks. And then, okay, so I would like to know whether you do have some cornerstone or maybe some kind of like commonplace knowledge in terms of reading. So could you answer to this question? Okay, so mhm. Yeah. Today, I would like to talk about the fundamentals first, and then I will elaborate on three types of questions for today. So, first of all, reading test is like, um, so now let's like only talk about key features. So we will have three reading texts. They are academic and also they're three separate reading passages of increasing difficulty. So which basically means the first one will be easy, the second one will be mid, and the third one will be one of the hardest one. Yeah, the most hardest one, by the way. And in terms of total words, it's like the combined length of all three passages, which is about 2,000 words. Like, can you just imagine it? And yeah, so in terms of also questions, we're gonna have 40 questions, total questions, I mean. Yeah, total number of questions to answer. And of course, in terms of time management, we will have 60 minutes. It's like time allowed to complete all questions with no extra transfer time. Yeah, it works only with computer-based. However, if you're passing it by paper-based format, you will have 100% free time. Oh, extra time, I mean, in order to transfer your answers. But I don't think that someone will choose paper-based over computer-based. Okay, so I hope, guys, you know what is the difference between academic and general training, like in terms of IELTS. But anyway, I must elaborate on them first. So, academic, and the texts are taken from journals, magazines, books, textbooks, and newspapers, and also some kind of articles. So, and also the texts are of an academic nature, but you do not require a specialist knowledge of the subjects to do well in the test. Yeah, these passages often contain complex vocabulary, abstract concepts, and detailed arguments that test your ability to understand academic writing. Mhm. So it's legible for applying to foreign universities for studying, but I'm not sure whether it's eligible for immigration. But I don't think so. Okay, so general training is like for immigration, for I don't know, getting like a green card or some kind of other trinkets, like working visas and etc. Yada yada yada. Yeah. So general training, the texts are taken from general sources such as adverts, notices, government documents, manuals, leaflets, books, and magazines. Yeah, and also the texts are intended to test a person's ability to cope with everyday life in an English-speaking country. These passages focus more on practical information and everyday communication that you would encounter in work or social situations. It's like basically tests your ability on how well you can do in some like English speaking country environment. Yeah. So mhm. So here goes our essential reading tips. Yeah, these tips are simply to give you an introduction to IELTS reading, actually. Yeah, so they're not intended to be the only document you look at 100%. So many IELTS students think that tips are the only things they need to get a good score on the IELTS reading. So, but actually they are not, because there's an essay for you to that you make sure you use these as an introduction and use the rest of the document to really progress. Okay, so the first essential reading tip of mine would be definitely time management. Time is your enemy. So it's an imperative for you to use it wisely and don't get stuck on difficult questions. So, why is it your enemy, first of all? So, what, guys, do you think about this one? Why the time is our enemy in terms of like accomplishing tasks in reading section? So, do you have any suggestions? Yeah.
Because it is distract us to think clearly and make us do mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. So it's always better to let go of something rather than getting stuck on the difficult question. For instance, like I made a huge mistake actually on my test day because I got stuck on one question for too long, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even notice that I really paid that close attention to one question when I could have done better with, I don't know, many more questions. So please don't make that kind of mistake of mine. Yeah. So consequently, understand question types. So each different question type requires a different strategy and tests different skills. Mhm. So if you want to do really well by really well, I mean, like getting the highest score, which is 9.0, like 40 out of 40. Yeah. So it's really good strategy for you if you would like to really, how to say, maximize your reading and listening scores. Yeah. So you need to get on well with that with some question types in order to do them successfully and without even, I don't know, finding it hard to do. Mhm. And the third one is read instructions carefully. So always read the instructions very carefully before attempting any question. Okay, and also I have something to say in terms of this one. Reading instructions carefully is the most vital thing. Yeah. So I also made a huge mistake on my listening section when I didn't pay attention to the instruction where I was required to write two words. But then after coming home, I realized that I wrote three words. So I hope you got it. So that's why read the instructions very carefully. Like it doesn't matter whether it is in reading or listening section, read them anyway. And also, vocabulary is the key. So, and also improve your vocabulary and you will improve your reading scores significantly. So, what I mean by this, and yeah, a lot of individuals they find it really complex to accomplish some kind of mock tests in terms of reading. Yeah, due to the fact that their vocabulary is limited, and limited vocabulary means that your score is going to be low. So, what to do in order to enhance your vocabulary is just like learn by heart the words that you meet. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times in a row. Yeah, it means that this is the one of the vital words that you need to understand in order to get the concept, in order to get the question right. So that's why you need to pay attention to this one also. Yeah. So the first question type I'm about to elaborate on is short answer questions. So these questions are often called comprehension questions, and they are very common English classrooms all over the world 100% because you've already encountered that kind of questions while you were um, practicing at school at other institutions. And also most students have answered this kinds of questions before, and for this reason most students tend to do quite well with them. Yeah, it's like the one of the most easiest question types on the IELTS reading section. Yeah. So now let's talk about skills tested and common problems here in short answer questions. So skills tested. The first one is ability to skim the passage quickly and understand overall meaning. So probably you may have notice that as of yet, some people think that skimming is like the most versatile strategy that you can use literally anywhere. However, it may not be eligible for one type of question, for instance, but we're not talking about it anyway. Yeah. So, so scheme basically means flicking through one text and having its gist. Gist means the short idea in brief. So the second one is ability to scan for specific information. And I think that you've probably found the words such as scheme and scan probably familiar because we have such strategies called skimming and scanning. Scanning means searching for exact information such as the United States of America, Kazakhstan Republic, France, South Korea, and etc. While skimming is searching for the context, for the subtext. Yeah, then let's go. Yeah, understanding the question being asked. I've already covered that up earlier. So, and also thinking of possible synonyms and paraphrases of keywords. Yeah, everything comes down to vocabulary actually. So that's why learn vocabulary from the mock tests, since they are like you encounter them there at exactly that kind of mock tests. So that's why it means that they can be faced by you on the exam day. However, it may be random actually. But anyway, it would be really great if you would know some kind of words on some odd topics. Let it say so. Yeah. And and common problems. Going over the word limit. So lack of awareness of synonyms and paraphrasing. Reading every single word instead of skimming and scanning. And also panicking when you see a word or phrase you don't understand. Yeah. So this one that was my pet peeve actually. Like really the biggest red flag I've ever had in my life while I was preparing for IELTS examination. I panicked a lot when I didn't know on one word or phrase, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail it. And then guess what? I failed it. Yeah, not because of I don't understand or something like this in this matter, but it's like I obfuscated myself into this concepts that I'm gonna fail and yada yada yada. But anyway, please don't panic at all on the exam day. Like, doesn't matter what kind of section is reading, listening, writing, speaking, doesn't matter. Like, why would you even like panicking over one thing, which is one of the most easiest exams on the earth ever existing, though. Yeah. So that's why, in terms of unfamiliar words or phrases that you may encounter in reading texts, there is necessary for you to do what? First of all, of course, learn words in order not to face that kind of situation. However, you may encounter a really complex topic. It also depends on what kind of topic you will be given on the exam day. But anyway, better than sorry. Yeah, it's really great to be prepared for something even unexpected. Okay, so here goes our strategy for short answer questions. The first one is read instructions. Read the instructions carefully and note the word limit, usually no more than 3 words and or a number. Yeah, and the second one is understand questions. I'm going to say it again and again, over and over, because understanding the questions is the vital step regarding IELTS reading. Because if you don't understand questions that you're given, you won't get them right. Unless you're some kind of a fortune teller. Yeah, please don't try to, how to say, mm, gadget on that kind of things. Like, just understand what they really mean. If you don't understand, I don't know, go on learn like some kind of vocab, structures, grammar, and etc. So it would be easier for you to comprehend what kind of questions you're talking about, and also think about the information you will need to find it. Of course. And also the third one is identify keywords. Underline any keywords in the questions and think about synonyms or paraphrases for these keywords. I guess finding keywords applies to every type of question regarding reading section. So that's why please do not sleep on them, like actually use them because they may be helpful. They may not be. They are helpful actually. Yeah. Since it's like such a great opportunity for you to get more scores just by simply identifying keywords. However, it may be also convenient for you to do tasks, to do, I don't know, to answer questions without marking keywords. So it's like up to you actually, whether you prefer marking or identifying keywords over doing it like leaving it like blank, you know? So, and also locate information. This is like scanning. Find the part of the text the question relates to. So, and also, please always remember that answers appear in the same order as the text. And also, the last one is read carefully. As already mentioned, read carefully again and again. Read the section containing the answer carefully and identify the exact number. And also, here's a remark for you. The answers do not need to be grammatically correct, just short answers. Okay? So don't give your own opinion. Just give the answer that is in the text. And also, please do not try to be a smart aleck in reading section because you're already you were like only tested on the questions that you're given that are provided and also backed up by the text. So don't try to make it up. Just like answer how the text says. Okay? Okay, then here we go. So let's practice short answer questions. Yeah. Okay, then let me demonstrate how to do and how to mark them. Okay, so first of all, we need to look at this one. No more than 3 words and or a number. Okay, by this way, we will be aware of the fact that we must not exceed this amount of words, which is 3 words and or a number. Okay, so what is the African rhinoceros compared to? Okay, guys, what do you think? What is the keyword here that may help us to find the correct answer? Okay, you can like speak up actually. I don't mind it. So what is the keyword here? Please help me.
African.
African rhinoceros, because it gives us the precise thing that we must be searching for. So which type of rhino fell in number to below 100? Which type of rhino? So we're going to 100% talk about rhino. Fell in number to below 100. Below 100 and also fell in number. What percentage of black rhinos had been illegally killed by 1992? Black rhinos illegally killed, and here, that's all. And how have the criminals improved their success? Okay, criminals, success. Okay, so the endangered African rhino. The rhinoceros is Africa's armored giant, like a tank on legs, and has been on our planet for millions of years. But right now, they need our help. Poaching of rhinos for their horns or habitat loss are huge threats to both white and black rhinos. Mm-hmm. So here we encountered some information. It's like introduction to what is the African rhinoceros. Mm-hmm. And I hope that you already detected the answer here for the first question. Mm-hmm. So what is the correct answer for the first question?
Tank on legs.
Yeah. And why is it the correct answer here? Hmm? Could you elaborate? Mm-hmm. So,
Maybe what is the question is what is the African rhinoceros compared to, and there
mhm,
we can see there's a like a tank on legs, like it's like compare it at it compared to a tank on legs.
yeah, exactly. So the first answer would be tank on legs. Yeah, that is right. Because like, the word like is used in order to show the comparison or maybe contrast in some context. But okay. So which type of rhino fell in number to below 100? Okay, white rhinos. The name doesn't come from their color, but originally a reference to their white mouth. Nose, okay, have had mixed fortunes. So they were in hot waters. Sadly, there are no northern white rhinos left in the wild, and only a handful in captivity. Okay, but the southern white rhino is a conservation success story. It's been helped back from under 100 in 1895 to over 20,000 in the wild today. Okay, which type of rhino fell in number to below 100? Mm-hmm. Below 100. Okay.
Southern white rhino
Yeah, and why is the answer here?
because it is written that
Mhm.
it held back from under 100
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what percentage of black rhinos had been illegally killed by 1992? Okay, for the black rhino, slightly smaller with a more pointed top lip, the worst period was between 1970 and 1992, when around 96% of them were lost to white scaling poaching. Only 5,000 are left in the wild today. So what might be the possible answer for this question?
96%.
What? Yeah, 96%.
96%.
Yeah, 96%. And so why is this the correct answer? And also, by the way, while answering to questions, try to learn to back up your argument. Like you need to learn how to make your argument feel more stronger because you need to elaborate and how to say justify your answer. So please try it and practice right now because you will need it in the future.
The answer is 96% because
Mhm.
it is said that the period was between 1970 and 1992, and they
Mhm.
were lost to wide scale poaching, which means that it was they had been illegally killed.
Yeah, exactly. And also, yeah, let's go to the next question. So, how have the criminals improved their success? Okay, so we here marked down criminals and success. Okay, with the criminals. Okay, so poaching of rhinos for the rhino horn is still a huge threat. And the poachers So I guess criminals are poachers, have got increasingly better equipped to ensure that these incredibly precious creatures survive. More action needs to be taken against this illegal wildlife trade. So what might be the answer here? How have the criminals improved their success? So now, in the text, we can face the information about poaching for their horns, and it's like such a grave concern for the society, maybe, and for the environment.
Better equipped.
Yeah, that's a correct answer. So why the word better equipped applies to this one? Can you elaborate on it?
Well, the question is asking how have the criminals improved their success, and the text says that they improve their success by having a better equipment, improving their equipment.
Yeah. Of course, and that's why it's just like a how to say ripple effect, because since they improved their equipments and they got the success further. Okay, so now let's take a look at the answers. So what is the African race compared to tank on legs? Okay, that is correct. And southern, which type of rhino fell in number to below 100? Southern right now. Also correct. What percentage of black rhinos had been killed illegally? By 1992, 96% of them. Yeah, that's cool. So how have the criminals improved their success? Better equipped. Okay, well done, guys. So now let's. So here goes our. Oh, by the way, do you have any questions regarding to this type of question?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah. Then let's proceed to the next question. So the second question type is multiple choice questions. On both like the academic and general IELTS reading papers, you are likely to be asked multiple choice questions. 100% you will encounter them, whether you want it or not. Your job is to simply choose the correct answer from a list of possible choices. And of course, now we're going to elaborate on skills tested and also common problems. So the first one is understanding the main ideas contained in a text. So if you want to do well on multiple choice questions, there is necessary for you that you really understand the provided text. Because if you don't understand it in details, and if you cannot break it down for someone, it means that you didn't quite understand it. So that's why you will not get the correct answer. However, it also depends on your luck, but don't rely on luck too much, because it's just like it was random, and there is no odds of they may not be odds of that you will get it on your luck on the exam day. So that's why truly just like focus on the strategies and your overall comprehension of questions. And also, the second one is ability to scan for specific information, which like basically marking keywords in the text and then search through the text by searching for the kind of thing. Okay, reading in detail for understanding. Yeah, as aforementioned, reading in detail for understanding is like a prerequisite if you would like to ace the reading section, like especially multiple choice questions. Since from our stance, they can be considered as one of the hardest reading question types. And also differentiating between two or more possible answers. So if you're finding it really struggling for you to find the correct answer for like 100% immediately, there's an issue for you to that you will abide by the rule of elimination method. Elimination method simply means excluding the most silliest answers. For instance, if the question asked, "What is the capital city of Astana?" Oh, what is the capital city of Kazakhstan? I mean, so the first one is answer, for instance, New York. Second one is London. The third one is Almaty, and the last one is Astana. Of course, we will not choose the first one since New York is the capital city of. Oh, it's not capital city of USA. Yeah, it would be like really hilarious if we answer to this question, right? So there should be a common sense. Yeah. So, and in terms of common problems, not answering the questions at all. Please, if you're not sure about your answer about and about the text, like you are fussy about your comprehension of one text, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Please do not leave any blank on the exam day while you're preparing for IELTS, while you're doing mocks. Please never do this. At least answer, I don't know, by choosing one letter, like one lucky letter. For instance, A, and then you will go through all of the questions. I don't know, maybe put A. Anyway, there's like a high possibility of having better odds that you will get these ones correct. So the next one is reading the text before looking at the questions. This is the biggest red flag that ever exists in IELTS reading, because how do you expect yourself to answer to a particular question if you like already have read the text but you didn't read the questions, which would be really hilarious. So that's why please read the questions first and then proceed to the text. Because otherwise, if you do it conversely, it might be really Do you have any questions? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, what I was talking, what I was about talking. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Yeah, and being tricked by distractors such as qualifying words. Yeah, there might be some kind of words that will look alike to one word. For instance, there might be word announce and denounce. They're quite similar. However, they have how to say different prefixes, or how do I call them? Yeah, let it be like prefixes. They quite look similar to each other. For one who doesn't know the kind of words. Okay, so not reading the questions or text carefully. As aforementioned, it's vital that you read the text really by paying really close attention, but like not just skimming and scanning the text. It may work for other types of questions, but it will not work for the multiple choice questions. Okay, so here we go with our strategy. So the first one is 100% read questions first. Read the questions carefully before looking at the text. Yeah, as aforementioned, please do not neglect this one. Do not neglect this rule and abide by this rule every single day. And skim the text. Quickly skim the text to get the general meaning. And also, my my favorable strategy is identifying keywords. So underline keywords in both questions and answer choices, thinking about possible synonyms. Oh, by the way, okay, I will tell you later. And fourth one is predict answers. Try to predict the correct answer before finding it in the text. So, having predicted the answer, having predicted the upcoming answer, maybe you will have at least something to justify, or I don't know, to put it away, for instance, which would be really easier for you to answer for this kind of question. Okay, and the last one is locate and analyze. Find the relevant section of the text and read it carefully, considering how each option might be wrong. And also, as aforementioned, I'm going to say it again and again. Always write an answer. It's better to guess than not answering at all. Try to narrow down the choices down to 2 or 3 out of the 4 possible answers to increase your odds of getting the answers correct. So then let's read this one. And okay, so now let's proceed to the strategies aforementioned. Yeah, so just the correct letter A, B, C, D, or D, write your answer. What does the author say about the incremental change of the last 100 years? Okay, so here we can notice that our keywords are incremental change and of the last 100 years. And the combination of changes has made alive something something. What does the author say about natural systems? Author. Okay, so we'll be searching for author's opinion about natural systems. Yeah, so please, and also don't read these ones right away after having marked the keywords, please. Don't do it, because you will only get confused. Okay, okay, so let's read. The past century's countless incremental changes in our societies around the planet, in our technologies, and our interactions with our surrounding natural environments have accumulated to create a qualitatively new world. Because these changes have accumulated slowly, it's often hard for us to recognize how profound and sweeping they are. They include far larger and denser populations, much higher per capita consumption of natural resources, and far better and more widely available technologies for the movement of people, materials, and especially information. So, did we encounter some keywords of ours that we earlier talked about? Incremental changes and of the last 100 years. So, can you say, is there anything that relates to this question? Okay. Guys, let's do it together. Okay, so incremental change is given like literally without any changes. So the planet, north. Okay, around the planet. Okay, who raised hand? Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, 100%. So, and also you may have noticed that the first keyword here, which is basically incremental change, and the second one is 100 years. They switch their places, which is like a really common operation. The past centuries, the last 100 years. This is like literally synonyms, but they're like just like paraphrased, and that's all. Now, like incremental changes, they come the second in order, but they remain the same. So we saw no change. Yeah. And also now let's proceed to the answer choices. It has become a hot scholastic discussion among environmentalists. Hot scholastic discussion, environmentalists. So, did we encounter some kind of information regarding the hot scholastic discussion and environmentalists? Did it mention at least something? Yeah, definitely not. It's like really absurd, you know, because there is nothing about it. So that's why we just excluded. And its significance is often not noticed. Okay, that seems pretty favorable. But let's read the rest of it. Okay, so it has reshaped the natural environments we live in. The natural environments reshaped we live in. Uh-huh. So did it mention something about reshaping our environments? It said something about natural environments, but it didn't say anything about reshaping and yada yada yada. So we also included or excluded. Okay, it benefited a much larger population than ever. Benefited much larger population than ever. Okay, so what might be the possible answer for this one here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, since there is nothing about benefiting a much larger population than ever, like there should be at least, I don't know, maybe comparison or either comparison or contrast here, but we see none of them. So that's why we excluded as well. And so thus the correct answer is B, since everything comes down to this one. Okay, so the combination of changes has made alive something something. Okay, let's read this one. Combination. These changes have sharply increased the density, intensity, and pace of our interactions with each other. They have greatly increased the burden we place on our natural environment, and they have helped shift power from national and international institutions to individuals and subgroups, such as political, special interests, and ethnic factions. So what is the answer for this one? And we must also use the method of elimination. Okay, guys,
Slower.
let's participate actively. Slower? Less sophisticated?
I think
Hmm.
always when something changes, it's sophisticated, and there is not mention about how they're increased something.
Okay, but what do you think about the answer B? May not be like the possible answer for this one?
Maybe it's B because in text state like they have greatly increased.
Increase the density and pace of our introductions. Pace basically means stomps. Do you know what the verb to stomp means?
No, I know only the word pace.
Okay, to stomp.
No, what does it mean?
Okay. I know that it has nothing to do with it, but it means topet.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah. So the first one, easier. Definitely not. Since we're seeing here density, intensity, and it already has some kind of negative connotation. So that's why we get rid of this one immediately. Yeah. And so what about faster? Also not less sophisticated. Okay, so the correct answer is B, actually, because we encounter the information and pace of our interactions with each other have sharply. Okay, let me just. Sharply increase the density, intensity, and pace of our interactions with each other. Have sharply increased the density. Do you see this one?
I chose the slower. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Slower?
I chose the slower because when you do something slower, you do it clearly, thoroughly.
Really? Okay, so the combination basically means the combination of changes, like refers to the incremental changes that were made, and it's also how to say refers to what how they've changed the life here. Increase the burden, but I wouldn't elaborate on it that much. Okay. Anyway, the correct answer is B. Not slower, not less sophisticated. Because it already says that pace of our interactions. Oh, yeah, interactions, I mean, with each other. Which already means that our interactions, they are faster compared to the past. So this is like the basically outcome of our incremental changes. Yeah. So what does the author say about natural systems? Okay, let's find something regarding to natural systems. Okay, I don't think that there's anything about natural systems. Do you? Guys? If you haven't finished reading the text, take your time. Okay. So, okay, then let's read this one. As a result, people in all walks of life, from our political and business leaders to all of us in our day-to-day, must cope with much more complex, urgent, and often unpredictable circumstances. The management of our relationship with this new world requires immense and ever-increasing amounts of social and technical ingenuity. As we strive to maintain or increase our prosperity and improve the quality of our lives, we must make far more sophisticated decisions and in less time than ever before. Oh, yeah. Take a look at it. Like, we must make far more sophisticated decisions and in less time than ever before. Okay, but it has nothing to do with this one. Yeah. Okay, then let's proceed to the text H. When we enhance the performance of any system, okay, so we see something about the system. The planners network our financial institutions, we tend to make it more complex. Okay, so we have a habit of making it way more harder than it is in reality. And many of the natural systems. Okay, natural systems. Okay, let's read the text till the end, and then we'll elaborate on these answers using the method of elimination. Yeah, natural systems. Critical to our well-being, like the global climate and the oceans, are extraordinarily complex to begin with. We often can predict or manage the behavior of complex systems with much precision. Because they're often very sensitive to the smallest of changes and perturbations. Okay, so they're like, how to say? Yeah, they are sensitive to changes, even the most smallest. And their behavior can flip from one mode to another suddenly and dramatically. Okay, so it shows instability here. In general, as the human-made and natural systems we depend upon becoming more complex, and as our demands on them increase, the institutions and technologies we use to manage them must become more complex too, which further boosts our need for ingenuity. Okay, so what does the author say about natural systems? So we've already read this one. Yeah, new technologies are being developed to predict change with precision. New technologies developed to predict change with precision. Natural systems are often more sophisticated than other systems. Okay, there are other systems. Minor alterations may cause natural systems to change dramatically. Technological developments have rendered human being more independent of natural systems. Okay. Let's do this once. Yeah. So new technologies are being developed to predict the change with precision. Is it like, may it be correct answer here? Okay, guys, let's participate actively. Okay, so new technologies. We see that what? Institutions and technologies with management boss. Okay, so there is anything about this one, so that's why we just like exclude it. So this method is called the method of elimination. Yeah, eliminate also means to exclude. They're like the literally synonyms of each other. So linger it in your mind. And natural systems are often more sophisticated than other systems. Of course, we have natural systems since it's like center topic here, but we don't have any mention of it, which was saying that this is the sophisticated compared to other systems. No, so that's why we exclude it as well. So minor alterations may cause natural systems to change dramatically. Yeah, and this one is the correct answer, since we are provided information that we often can't predict or manage the behavior of complex systems with much precision because they are often very sensitive to the smallest of changes and perturbations, and their behavior can flip from one mode to another suddenly and dramatically. So minor changes is like oh yeah, smallest, minor. They're like synonyms of each other. Minor, and small. So now let's read the last one. So technological developments have rendered human being more independent of natural systems. Did it mention something like this? No. So that's why we excluded as well. So the correct answer is C. Okay. Let's check. The first one is B. Okay, we got it right. And the third, so we got everything right. Okay, well done. Oh, it seems like we have 4 minutes left. Damn. Okay, so guys, I hope everything was quite clear, wasn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So then I guess I should like elaborate on this question quickly since we have 4 minutes left. Okay, question type 5 is like matching sentence endings. First of all, you will be given a list of sentences that are incomplete. You will also be given a list of possible endings for those sentences. You will also be given a list of possible endings for this. Oh, why am I reading it over again? Okay, so your task is to match the beginning of the sentence with the right ending. So it's like paraphrasing actually, and there will often be more endings than you need. So IELTS examiners, they know that it would be 100% easier if there was more. If there was less, how to say, less capacity for it actually. Yeah. So the endings will be listed as letters, for example, A to F. So this means your answer will be a letter. Okay, skills tested. The first one is prediction. The second one is being able to identify synonyms and paraphrases. And the third one is understanding how the ideas in the sentences are connected to the main ideas in the reading text. So, common problems here: not reading or fully understanding the correct parts of the reading text. This is basically the aforementioned thing of mine, which I was basically yapping about, I don't know, for the whole lesson, actually. Yeah. So the second one is not being aware of synonyms and paraphrasing. And also the third one is looking for the exact words in the reading text rather than synonyms. And the last one is trying to complete the sentences using logic or grammar rather than using the reading. Okay. So here goes our strategy for matching sentence endings. So the first steps that you need to complete is read the incomplete sentences first and don't look at the endings yet. Basically, this rule applies to multiple choice questions as we elaborated on them earlier. Also try to understand what they mean and highlight any words, especially names, place, or dates. And also the second one is try to predict. Always, like, please try to make a prediction, even if you are unsure about it. Predict what the endings might be before looking at them. Think about what word type, verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs makes the sentence grammatically correct. And the third one is flip through quickly, look at the endings, but not in too much detail. Try to see if there are any obvious answers. And also exclude if there are any obvious answers that will not 100% be the correct answer. And elimination method, okay, I'm going to talk about it literally for the end of this month on 100%. Eliminate endings that definitely cannot match. Think about grammar, collocations, and meaning. Okay, so last but not least, so read carefully. Find the correct part of the reading text for each incomplete sentence. Be careful with synonyms and paraphrases. Okay, I hope everything was clear, guys. So how was it? What do you think about the first lesson?